What up, history class? This is my Civil War music project. With the video being about music during the Civil War, a topic we didn't cover, a lot of you guys may be asking, why did music during the Civil War matter at all? Which is what I'm here to explain. During the Civil War, the North and the South had seceded into two different countries, essentially. And with two countries, music has its place given that both of them need to have their own national anthems, which brings in the topic of patriotism. While patriotism in the North was maybe not as prevalent, patriotism in the South was everything, given that they were a new nation and they were fighting for their own rights. Though both anthems were extremely recognizable, the one used more often was Dixieland or Dixie, which was the one used by the Confederacy. Here I'm going to play the main verse for you guys, even though it does have a sick violin intro, but we don't have time for that now. Here's a copy of the music to follow along. Though it didn't really make sense to many Northerners to write a national anthem for what was essentially one half of the country, a national anthem for the North did prevail, and this was done to the tune of the song John Brown's Body, and it was known as Battle Hymn of the Republic. I'm going to play John Brown's Body for you with the Battle Hymn of the Republic lyrics just so you can follow along.
Oh, John Brown's body lies molding in the grave, while weep the sons of bondage whom he ventured out to save. And though he lost his life in his struggle to free the slaves, his truth is marching on.
By using John Brown's Body as the tune, what Julia Ward Howe did to the South was virtually this.
I'm about to sing the song.
Move, get out the...
Another huge piece to the importance of music during the Civil War is entertainment. I mean, look at these guys. Wouldn't you be bored in their situation too? With some soldiers never seeing combat and spending so much time in camp, the rise of the brass band was inevitable for entertainment. Using influences from people such as Mozart and Haydn, both European aristocratic favorites, the United States military managed to come up with its own sort of genre, also known as marching band music. Heard here was When Johnny Comes Marching Home, a song written in the camps during wartime, which ultimately turned into a famous United States military march. Another massively popular song during the Civil War was Lee, but for further explanation, I'm going to hand it off to myself and pause the video here. Another aspect of music during the Civil War that cannot go unmentioned is the act of remembrance that was brought upon us with music. No. The song heard there was Taps, one of the most favorite American military songs of all time. It was written after the 7 Days Battle, which were 7 days of battles for Richmond, Virginia in June and July of 1862. This song was adopted by both the Union and the Confederacy as a funeral song for remembrance of the mass casualties at these battles, and is now used at all military funerals today. This is just a quick rundown of the music scene during the Civil War. Literally during the Civil War, like stuff during wartime. There were plenty of other things going on, such as the birth of Dixieland jazz and the prevalence of ragtime music with the birth of Scott Joplin, as well as African American cultural beginnings in the United States, such as slave songs that helped with the Underground Railroad. But I think this will give you a little bit of insight into what Civil War music looked like and what its importance was during the war. And thank you, Rico, for bearing with me.